I recently introduced a new service where you can do mock interviews, record them, and practice, and then have me review your answers. It's a service where questions are going to get thrown at you along different topics. You'll record your answers, and I'm going to give you advice about how you could do it better, or give you an attagirl or an attaboy afterwards. So if you go to thebiggamehunter.us/mock, that's going to take you to the site, and I do hope you find it helpful. It has helped a bunch of people. Now, let's get going. No BS Job Search Advice Radio, episode 2199. I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to Monday. I'm in a good mood today. Yes, I am. And today's show is one where I'm going to talk with you about ways you know it's time to leave your job. I focus on 6 ways. Obviously, there are a million, but here are 6 ways you know it's time to change jobs. Hope you find this helpful and give the show an honest review wherever you listen to it. Also going to remind you, we're now on Helium Radio, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern. So again, if you prefer listening to this online on Helium, by all means, it's a new platform for us. Hope you enjoyed the show today, and we'll be back in just one moment. Support for today's show comes from EdUreka. EdUreka is a service where, for those of you who work in technology, you already know you've got to keep your skills up to speed, or else you're going to be washed out at some time. So I'll simply say EdUreka makes it inexpensive and effective for you to learn what you need to learn in order to stay current in your field, or to learn skills in order to transfer to something completely different. Follow the link in the show notes. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And we'll be back in just one moment. The person who gets ahead isn't always the smartest. They don't always work the hardest. Those are great qualities to have. People get ahead by being alert to opportunity. Sometimes those are internal to an organization. More often than not, they're external. And I'll also say that a person who avoids professional disaster is the one who remains alert to signals and can read the tea leaves about what is going on in their industry or at their company. So here are a number of things to look out for. Number 1, you suddenly report to someone different. And thus, if you're a senior professional, the reporting structure was changed, and now you're reporting a rung or 2 down from where you were previously reporting. If you're on staff, you're suddenly reassigned without even the pep talk about this being a great opportunity. That's one signal. You look up from your desk and see a manager and a director who's around your age and content with their job. They're not going anywhere, are they? What's going to happen is you're going to be stuck behind them because they're probably going to retire in that seat, as I've seen happen so many times previously. And thus, you wind up losing out because they're not going anywhere, are they? So that becomes a second way you know it's time to go. Third way is your firm is up for sale or was recently sold. If it's up for sale, the new buyer is going to want to maintain control, aren't they? And thus, you're going to be in a situation where after the firm is sold, there's going to be a consolidation, and usually the buyer decides who to keep, and often it's going to be their person. So if the firm has been sold, you know what's happening. You know what's going on. You can see that the business is going to change. The deal is done. No matter what it is, new management is going to integrate the operations of the 2 firms. And once they do knowledge transfer, you can be toast. So if you want to wait to see if there's a buyout, that's your prerogative, but don't bank on it. It's very likely you can get pushed out the door. Number 4, everything is just being maintained, or that's the kind of work you're being assigned. And thus, The people who tend to move ahead are the ones who can deliver bright, new, shiny objects to management. The sexy work that everyone goes ooh and ah about. And thus, if you're asked to maintain stuff, you're on the slow path to nowhere. Number 5, your new boss is a jerk. No amount of charm on your part is ever going to take away from the fact that they're basically a jerk. And thus, you're stuck. You're going to be trapped in this role, working for an imbecile. And you just dislike the person too much. 6th reason, your industry is on its deathbed. There are industries that we know are headed out. Newspaper publishing is complicated these days. How many survivors do you think there are going to be in newspaper publishing? Unless they have an online side to them, not many. Not unless they have a successful online side does the newspaper industry survive. There was a time where among the Fortune 500 in the United States were firms in the buggy whip industry. What the heck is a buggy whip? I'm sure many of you are asking, but no matter. There are things that indicate that your firm or your industry is dying, and you don't want to wait until the last minute. You've just got to start heading out the door before you're attending your own career funeral. Give yourself time to execute an effective job search before things reach crisis proportion. Don't wait. Do it now. So that's today's show. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, here are a few things I can do to help you with your job search beyond simply being your coach. First of all, I've got a new book out called The Right Answers to Tough Interview Questions. It is like a cookbook with answers to tons of interview questions that you're going to be asked on interviews. And if you pair it up with my other new book, The Ultimate Job Interview Framework, they are a terrific pair of books to help you with interviewing. In addition, I have a new service where you can practice mock interviews. If you go to thebiggameHunter.us/mock, I've got a service there, very inexpensive, like $99, where we have mock interviews set up. I'm going to be adding more to it very soon, but you can record your answers to them, and then I can critique them and help you perform better on them. You probably have noticed my show notes are pretty thorough with products and services that can help you with your search. And connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/thebiggamehunter. Lastly, my website has a ton of great information. That's thebiggamehunter.us. Now, if you're not ready to go there and go through the blog, put the address in your phone, thebiggamehunter.us, Jeff Altman. So this way, when you're ready to go, you have a way of getting back to my website. Hope you have a terrific day, and most importantly, be great!